guys, so my two friends Jenna and Coralie and I are out here outside of Moab, Utah in this, our 2004 Volkswagen Touareg. We're gonna go rip around in some sand and see what it's like. Hopefully not get stuck, hopefully not break anything, but well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So this is a bone stock 04 Volkswagen Touareg. It's got the V8 engine, 4.2 liters. All we've done to it is put a set of big, beefy BFG KO2s, and then I've gone ahead and aired them down to about 20-22 PSI. But apart from that, this is your standard mommy mobile that you might see at your school run. But these are secretly super awesome. Let me show you. All right, well, I know that Jeep will go pretty much anywhere, but I'm a little bit worried about the other two, so I'm gonna pull out my Onyx off-road map to figure out what the terrain coming up is like, so we know that the TRX and the Raptor can do it. Of course, I'm being facetious, but Onyx off-road is really cool because we have really detailed satellite and topographical maps, and you can download the map to your phone because out here, there's not a lot of anything, especially no service. So, let's keep on going. I think the trucks will be fine, but we'll have to wait and see. My friends are currently romping around in the sand, as they like to say. I'm gonna try to go down this big ass sand dune in the VW. Take it straight on. Oh, that's steeper than it looks. Now we did air the tires down to 22 PSI, and traction actually felt really good. Now let's see if we can go back up it. That's the real question. Low range, traction control off, and I guess see if 4.2 liters worth of V8 is enough to power me up the sand dune. Lock the center diff, and up we go. While my friends are taking pictures for Instagram. Oh no! I bogged it. Let me try that one more time with a little bit more momentum. Now this has 310 horsepower. Let's try first. Woo! And we made it! How fun was that? So is this your first time romping in the sand?
No, I've been to the sand dunes.
Have you? Have you driven through the sand dunes?
I have not.
Oh, so this is like the first vehicle romp through the sand.
It is. It's fun though.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Coralie's kind of indifferent.
I like a good romp.
Okay, you ready?
What if you run over your camera?
Whoa! Everything went flying. So Jenna, what do you think of this mom car?
I like it.
Are you impressed
like
with what it can
features,
do? Yeah. Has it been comfortable on our 600-mile road trip?
It has, yes.
Good. Does it do better off-road than you think a mom car would typically do?
Yeah, my car could not do this.
Your CX-9?
I have a mom car. Yeah.
No, I don't think yours did.
Doesn't have all these cool features.
So Coralie has a Super Outback, and she thinks that it can do everything a Jeep can do.
Not everything, but I think it's just as, you know, valuable to the world.
And what's your dream car?
Another Subaru Outback. It is more fun to do this type of stuff in a mom car than in a Jeep.
Heck yeah, it is.
Because people give you weird looks, like, really, you're doing that in that car?
We passed a group of Jeepers yesterday, and they were getting a kick out of the stuff we were taking this Volkswagen on. Because I think there's like a thing in the off-road world where you feel like you have to have really big tires to be super cool, but you really don't. You know what I mean? You can just kind of come out here in pretty much any car and rip around and have fun until you get stuck. And then you're glad you have big tires. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. Let me go ahead and engage low range and lock the center diff. I'm gonna leave the rear diff unlocked though. Engage the off-road height for the suspension, and let's see what happens. The Touareg does feel very heavy, and it is very heavy. It weighs over 5,000 pounds, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,300, but in low range, the power feels really good. This is so much fun. We don't have a lot of sand in Colorado to play around in. There's a little bit, And then we've got the great sand dunes, but those are closed to motorized vehicles. The air suspension on this Volkswagen is pretty good. It gets a little bit too firm in the high off-road settings, but with the tires this aired down, it really isn't an issue. Now I could go down lower, but this thing is so heavy that at 20-22 PSI, that's about as far down as I want to go. Now the steering is surprisingly good. This is an independent suspension vehicle all around, so it's got independent front and rear suspension, and the steering is surprisingly quick, I gotta say. And the power is good, 310 horsepower out of this 4.2 liter V8, but that's enough in low range to kind of muscle us along, and it's got a pretty good exhaust note. Here we go, here's a little dune. Let's see if we can power our way up it. Jenna and Corley looking very impressed right now. I'm sure girls are very impressed by this kind of thing, at least in my mind. Like I said, not a lot of down travel. It does get a little bangy over some of the smaller bumps, but it's hanging in there. Not bad at all, I gotta say. Yeah, the transmission is slow. 6-speed automatic in this does not want to downshift, but there is a manual mode, so I can kind of lock it into a gear and then just hold it in the gear. Let's go ahead and bring it up to red line here. Ooh. It will hold that gear regardless though, so it won't downshift automatically like a lot of other automatics. There's 6,000 RPM into 4th. That's a lot of fun. All right, let's go pick them up and see what they think. Jenna, what was the best part of our Moab trip?
Off-roading, for sure.
Which one, the rocks or the sand?
The rocks.
Yeah?
But I like both.
Yeah? Did you like going steep, or was that scary?
No, I liked going steep.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Corley, what was the best part of our Moab trip?
Cut.
Let's try this again. Corley, what was the best part of Moab?
Hiking! God, that's close.
It's a wide lens.
Oh, okay.
Where did we go hiking?
Arches National Park.
And it was fun, right?
Yeah, it was super fun. Except when all the other people showed up. That wasn't fun.
This is not going to be Grammy animated television.
Just like, yeah.
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 All right, let's go. All right, so there you have it, the Volkswagen Touareg in the sand. You know, it's just so fun bringing this car out to a place like Moab and cruising down, you know, Hell's Revenge, Fins and things, and coming out to the sand dunes, because people don't expect it to do what it can do. In the sand, first time in the sand, it's very heavy, so it does have a tendency to sink. You definitely need a lot of speed. You can see though, I mean, even just cruising around, the depths of the ruts that the Volkswagen leaves are just nuts. So like, these little ruts are some ATVs and, you know, side-by-sides that were out here earlier. These ruts are from the Volkswagen. It really has a tendency to sink, but you air down the tires enough, it does pretty well. Now the tires on this one are not huge. These are BFGs. What are the sizes? I can't even read the sizes. It sinks so deep here. Let's see. 265/70, so, you know, pretty narrow. But overall, I'm impressed. I had a ton of fun out here with my friends. Transmission, you got to stick in a manual mode or it's just constantly upshifts. But other than that, ride was good. Steering was really pretty good. Power was decent, especially in low range, and strongly recommend Volkswagen Touareg bringing it out to Moab. Okay, full disclosure, did have a couple issues. The instrument cluster I think is starting to go bad because the voltmeter went to 0, which scared the crap out of me, and then the turn signal stopped working, but battery still working. So I don't think we have a charging issue, and then an hour later it fixed itself, and I got a check engine light for a lean warning on cylinder 1. But apart from that, it was a good trip. Now it's just got to get us 6 hours home. As always, this has been Tommy with the Fastlane Car. Check out TFLcar.com for the latest and greatest in new car reviews, and TFL Off-Road for more fun off-road adventures.